and steel today across the world is the primary factor which results both in economic growth, capital growth, and infrastructure growth. So it would be not an exaggeration to say that steel forms the fundamental foundation based on which the vertical skyscrapers of an industrial nation form themselves in the years to come. And therefore, our targeted policy and focus also has been to turn India from just another player in the steel sector to becoming a force to reckon with within the steel sector. And if you look at our track record over this one capsule of our journey in the last 75 years, the last 8 years, the transformation that has taken place within the steel sector, I'd just like to put some data points across to you. The first, we have moved from becoming a net importer of steel to becoming a net exporter of steel. That for an industrializing nation, that for a developed nation, is a huge paradigm shift. It is a key inflection point and augurs well both, on the one hand, for the production of steel, and on the other hand, for the consumption of steel. The reason why India is different from all our neighbors, from all the tigers, from all the dragons, is that we are fundamentally not only an exporting nation, but we are fundamentally also a consuming nation. And from that strong consumption base comes the theory of competitive and comparative advantage to be able to find our place in the international market. And so the Rubicon has shifted from a net importer to a net exporter. On another dimension, if you look at the per capita consumption of steel, from a low of 57.8 kgs in 13-14 against the global average of 225 kgs, in just 8 years we have increased by 50% to 78 kgs per person against that global average. And as Sanjeev said in his opening remarks, we're going to grow from 77, tripling it and attaining the world average of 220 by the year 2047. That is our past, this is our present, and that is our future. The third statistic, from a production capacity capability of close to 102 million tons in a span of just 7 to 8 years, we have increased capacity to about 154 million tons. That's a 50% jump. And our intention is that by 2030, this capacity of 154 million tons must grow to 300 million tons by the year 2030. On a production level basis, assuming a capacity utilization of 80%, from a base of 80 million tons production in 13-14, we are today producing 121 million tons. Again, a jump of 50%. And so across all four parameters, the Indian steel industry has not only set a firm footing, but today we have moved from being the fourth largest producer of steel in the world to, ladies and gentlemen, becoming the second largest producer of steel in the world. That is the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the thought that brings together hitherto myriad, varied, unconnected strands together to produce the capability of a nation, the capability of 130 crore people. And I am very confident that even though the number one nation is far beyond us in terms of the producer of steel, there will come a day when India will become the number one producer of steel in the world in the days to come.